I want to say it's 5 or 6. It doesn't matter, whatever it says in the title. So today we are talking a little bit about our Eternal Weekend experience and also the recent bans. Now, just as far as kind of our agenda here, we had meant to get together last week to talk about what our bans were going to be. Schedules happened, so we still have that same agenda. We're going to talk through it. And we were right on like 50% of it, so that's cool. And it's just awesome that we get to meet today. Our schedule's lined up. I unfortunately had 2 sick kiddos, so that's why it is 1:15 in the afternoon, and I am live streaming. I actually got the kids down at the same time, so if I have to jet like really quickly, that is why. So enough from me. I wanted to introduce my awesome co-hosts here, Mr. Tony Plowshares and Ben. We need to like Stormin' Ben Storm. I don't know, like the artist formerly known as Ben. We need to come up with like a cool nickname for you.
I don't know.
Ben Diddy? No.
Everyone local, everybody local. Whoa. Unable to add current audio, video. What just happened? It's wanting me to restart. But if you can hear me, I'm not going to worry about that.
Yep, we can hear you.
Cool. I mean, everyone around here just calls me Sugar Lips, so you know.
I love that. Well, next time I do the intro, I will introduce you as Ben Sugar Lips.
I love that. Get them all hot and bothered.
So really quick before we get started, I wanted to do a quick shout out to some of our Patreons. Our one right now, Blaze, thank you so much for joining our Patreon. We just launched it last week, I think it was. So thank you for being a Patreon. We'll get your swag bag sent out to you. And if you also want to be one of the first 5, so there's 4 more left. Let me grab right off screen here one of the sweet pieces of swag that you will be mailed. One of our Ohio Eternal shirts that has the slogan, "The best part of Magic is the gathering." So you can get one of those, sticker pack, and some tokens sent to you, being one of the first 5, the OG Patreons. So make sure you take a look at that. If you just go to our website, Ohio Eternal or eternal.rocks, you will find a link to that, or just message us in the Discord. So on our recap from the last time that we recorded, Ben actually played in the league championship out at Better Plays. So Ben, just a really quick recap. How did that go? Was there a good turnout? I know it was like multiple weeks. How did that go overall? Was he like mid-bite? Oh no, he left. So Ben left. So when he gets back, he was having some computer issues. When he gets back, we will circle back for kind of what his thoughts were on that. I have the agenda open, so I do apologize. So Tony, tell us a little bit about the BCDL. That's the first next tournament that will be coming in the new year. So tell us a little bit about Buffalo Chicken Dip. What is it? Who's there? Is it proxy friendly? All that fun stuff.
I'm back. I don't know what was going on, but we fixed it, I think.
Cool. Yeah, well, after Tony talks a little bit about Buffalo Chicken Dip, we're going to circle back to you and talk a little bit about the Better Plays tournament.
Groovy. I don't know what's going on. They just want me to restart again.
Buffalo Chicken Dip, I've been, a huge supporter and advocate for them since, kind of towards the beginning, and I try to go to everyone that I possibly can. And, there haven't been like a ton of, tournaments that I've tried to like rearrange my schedule for, but like, BCDLs are just phenomenal. So it was started by Rob, who is, living in Texas now, and he does it in Texas. So like it's in kind of both spots. But yeah, it's just, Rob Wilson and, Carrie and Matt, are who run it now. Those guys, do a tremendous job. The prizing's always awesome. Great dip. And like, dude, like legit people go to these things. Like I've played in Buffalo Chicken Dip. So they're usually around like 64 people, like like the last open and like, stuff was like maybe like 70, 80 people, but they've capped it at 100 something before. It just depends on like where the store, if they can hold that many. So usually they're like 64 player cap type deal. But anyways, like you play in these events, and it's everybody from like the local scene, and like people travel to them. Guys come down from Canada to play in BCDLs. So I mean, um, it's a good time. Like, definitely something to make a destination trip for, support it. Um, but yeah, they're good. They're like full proxy friendly, so like you could just bring whatever you want, right? And the prizes are legitimate. They're great, and it's nice to have something so locally to us.
Yeah, absolutely. And we got to hang out with them at Eternal Weekend. Good group of folks behind it. Just super, compassionate individuals that are just passionate about the game and getting people together. So it's no shock that we got along great with them as far as our favorite formats and just bringing people together. They just have the bonus of having really good chicken dip, which is awesome. Who doesn't love buffalo chicken dip? So talking a little bit about Eternal Weekend, moving on again, this is a little bit of old news just because of the timing of everything, but overall, had a blast at Eternal Weekend. I grinded side events, and I was able to get my Blood Moon playmat, so I left very happy. I also picked up my first piece of power, so the Mox Ruby, picked that up. So again, it was just a good time. Finished out my Guru lands. So again, I got a lot of fun stuff, but more importantly was the relationships that were built. Ben, this was your first Eternal Weekend, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So how was it from your perspective? This was my second.
It was very fun. It was very fun. Met a lot of really cool people. Did a lot of cool things. Played in the main event. Did not do well. Did all right, but I didn't get knocked out of potential prize until round 8, which felt cool, but around round 8, I'm like, all right, I'm ready to fucking nap and rub one out. Not necessarily in that order. Yeah, well, yeah. But maybe alternate, nap, rub one out, take another nap, then rub another out, every now and then rub one out, nap.
We're definitely going to get the explicit rating for this episode, if no other ones.
Well, we're talking about back massages. I don't know what you guys are talking about. But
that's what I meant. I was thinking foot. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
We charge extra for foot stuff. But no, it was very fun. After I realized that I wasn't going to be getting prize in the main event, I dropped, and then I was like, all right, well, I got a couple of tickets for prize stuff. So let's see if I can stack up a couple to get a Yawgmoth Will map. So I did that because that Yawgmoth Will art is just gangster as all fuck. So I'm like, all right, I really want this play map. Grinded that, and then ended up in a side event like it for ticks. I had already had the ticks that I needed to finish to get the mat that I wanted. So I was like, I didn't really care, and I was like ready to leave. And I took a very long turn against somebody who was playing Cloud Post. They Veil of Summered, and I had to win through a Veil of Summer, which the only way to do that is with Approach of the Second Sun. But
got there.
The prior turn, he had blown up my Song of Creation, so I had to Echo of Eons to get the Song of Creation back in my library, and then I had to Beseech into the Song of Creations. But that turn, I ended up casting Peer into the Abyss twice, Approach of the Second Sun twice, and Beseech into Song of Creation. So like, it started with a Peer into the Abyss, into Float a Bajillion Mana, into Echo of Eons, into Beseech, into Song, into Peer into the Abyss, into Song of Creations, into Echo, into Song of Creations.
This just proves that I'm just not smart enough to play Storm. Like, I just want to turn shit sideways and go next turn as like I look around and see what
I was doing.
On.
I was doing the most stuff, and I was like, this is very fun for me, but I know that this is just grueling for him, and I didn't care. So I was like, hey brother, I can see good games. He goes, are you sure? I'm like, I already have the ticks that I wanted. I just am playing this game because I'm here. Yep. And I thought we would have some fun interactive gameplay, but I was bullying you and it felt bad. So like, just have that, like, you got it.
That's awesome.
But it was fun, and I got to do a lot of cool stuff.
Good. And Tony, how was your Eternal Weekend experience?
Good. I mean, I know we've talked about this and everything. Eternal Weekend's just taxing on you, right?
It is.
You know,
And as like Ben was talking about like multiple rounds and whatnot, like that's something that I think that people super underestimate is just the physical stress of playing a card game, right? Like just the mental and physicality. Like even I tried and ran and got you guys sandwiches and stuff, and it was still exhausting. Like especially if you're on, going into time, you don't have time between matches. Like it is very grueling, and it's probably like people that don't understand are like these nerds talking about playing cards. It's so grueling. It really is. Like it is mentally. Yes.
That many people there in between rounds, you cannot rub one out in the bathroom.
No.
Like, I mean, people
There's
walk
no stress relief.
Sounds. I mean, like you're just pent up.
Yep. All day.
Yeah, like at Eternal Weekend, in my opinion, like I would rather not. Like if you want to go to the hall one day and like shop for something or whatever, like sure, but like to play cards, if I'm gonna play in the main event, even or both main events, like that's all the Magic that I can play.
Yeah.
Like because you're legitimately going to play a billion games of Magic.
High level too.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, that's
right?
the thing is like,
Yeah.
it's high level, very like no room for error type of Magic, and even if it's not that, like you feel that being in that room, right? Because you're with the greats that are, the best in the business, and again, there's just all that extra stress that's on you. So anybody that hasn't gone and is thinking about it, just prepare yourself, right? Like making sure that you have the proper loadout when it comes to, food, refreshments, and, getting good night's sleep, all the things that we talked about, on the things that Tony and I screwed up at the last Eternal Weekend. That video's on our YouTube channel, because that'll help you be successful for anything that is that long. I mean, you're used to your weekly, which is, maybe five rounds, you know what I mean? And that's a whole new ball game when you're doing that. Also got to play Vintage, which was pretty cool. Got the bazaars out of the binder and literally put the deck together that morning. I think it was on Saturday. And was it Saturday? Was that when the main event was for Legacy? I think so. So put it together on Saturday and won, which was pretty cool. Had a winning record with it, which was nice. And again, it was a fun format to play, and we checked that box, right? Last year, Tony and I made a pact that we would both play Vintage at the next Eternal Weekend, and we did check that box. Maybe not to the fullest extent, but we at least checked. We got there.
Neither one of us played it.
Like not the main event, but we still played Vintage.
We
played
did.
a couple of games, yeah.
On a scale from 1 to Vintage, you played it.
We did, 100%. So really quick, originally we were going to talk about kind of just a recap of Eternal Weekend, as far as like the stats and stuff, but that's way far past. So we're going to go right into the hotness that is the ban and restrict announcement that happened yesterday. So first of all, let's get this out of the way. How about the unbanning in Modern?
Insane.
Like I saw a dude on Reddit that had framed his Splinter Twins, and he he literally had a sticker on it that said like break when unbanned. Like he never thought it would happen. Yeah. And he took it and broke it yesterday and busted those bad boys out, those bad chads. So Mox Opal as well.
Yeah. Someone offered me $800 for my place at a Mox Opals.
I feel like that's low.
Oh yeah, you have Mox Opals, don't you, Ben?
Yeah, because they're in Storm. I got a place at a Japanese Mirrodin boys, Scars boys. But I have no idea. I have no idea what the market is. But someone was like, "I'll give you $800 for them right now." I'm like, but then what will I play in Legacy?
Right. Well, there's that.
Yeah. So, yeah. But I mean, I was looking at it and I was like, I might show up to a Modern Locals just and play like Lantern Control, because I have the Mox Opals, I have all the baubles, I have lanterns are 3 cents, so like maybe I'll just slap together Lantern Control and show all these kids what's popping. But Wrath of the Skies is still a fucking insane Magic card, so that's.
Well, you can make sure they don't draw it with Lantern. That's
right. I can make them discard it and extirpate it.
You can. randomly, yeah. Randomly, you play extirpate and like surgical.
3 of in the main.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
You're not using the mana for anything else other than making constructs or,
Yeah.
thought season. So,
So-
you might as well thought season out of their hand and into their yard.
So
and then
I think-
extirpate it.
I think where TJ's going with this is, I mean, so like we all knew that Frog and Bobble were going to get banned, right?
Mhm.
Like those were always a
Whoa,
given.
we
and
were still
always,
talking about the unbans.
No, I know, yeah, but I mean, but like in Legacy, Frog and Bobble plus some cards probably needed to go, and I know we've all talked about those, but like it was pretty much unanimous. So they did the minimum in in Legacy to keep it somewhat healthy.
That's
But-
gonna be. It's not healthy. It's still fucking bad.
And
Right,
that's what,
exactly.
And that's what I'm looking. So the reason that I did bring up the modern and the unbanning too is like, it's looking like that could be a good format to like dip my toes back into. I mean, Green Sun's back, Splinter Twin, Mox Opal, like they got rid of the One Ring. They got rid of, some other things that were, an issue. Like modern doesn't look hateful right now.
No, modern looks fun.
Realistically, if you wanted, I don't know, I would probably play something with Urza. I would play like an Urza pile with Mox Opal, and then like Whir of Inventions and like, I don't know. There's something going on over there,
I
What
think
was Urza doing before
And I wanna-
Mox Opal got banned?
Urza had Oko,
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
right?
Well,
Urza
but they
had
banned
Oko and
Opal
Mox
and
Opal
Mox
in the
Opal.
same modern environment.
That's fine. Yeah.
So I want to
Yeah.
point out from the last the MTGO League, look at all the red banned cards that are in this list.
Right.
Yep, there was definitely some problems in modern if you look at some of these, like challenge. Good God, Merfolk's good though, guys, and Belcher, they're safe. They are safe. So I think it'll be interesting to, I think for me selfishly is to get people, into eternal formats. So if modern is a way to do that, cool. If that helps bridge the gap into legacy, awesome. But again, I think that modern and overall, I saw something that was online that was like, we just want a curated play environment, right? So it doesn't have to be necessarily just ban everything. Like I feel like they were doing a good job with modern where they brought some stuff back and they reintroduced like you said, they did the bare minimum. And I think that we're going to see that, what are the predictions of what the meta is going to look like? I think Nadu is going to, or Breakfast is going to, again, be the top. I think that, is Delver going to come back? Potentially, but again, I think we're going to be up against the same thing, 3 or 4 months where it's going to be, again, one top deck again. What are your guys' thoughts?
I agree.
What's
I don't think
doing over
I don't
there?
think Eldrazi
What are
was
you
there.
doing over there? You're smirking.
He's looking at porn. I don't think Eldrazi was hit at all.
No.
Like that deck's still going to be insane. But the cool thing is when a deck is insane, it's still easy to be hated out. Like maybe it makes mono red significantly better because Blood Moon stock goes up. I doubt it. I still think Eldrazi is just very fast and very good. Who knows?
But like, why didn't Reanimator take any hits? I mean, I guess Frog.
I don't
wasn't
think
a hit,
Reanimator's
right?
that good.
Well, Reanimator was played and it was extremely good before Psychic Frog came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Frog is the thing that made like
Oh, yeah,
having
sure.
card draw and a mid range or a mid game.
Modern Horizons 3 came out. Here, look. Can
And
I
ruined
share my
everything.
screen?
Yeah.
Here, I'll show you something, okay? I'm going to blow your mind.
Hide the porn.
Because I'm not good at this stuff. Can you see my screen?
Jeez.
You can see this?
We can. The best
Maybe-
morph cards in Magic the Gathering.
Maybe if I join the studio on a web link rather than
All right.
the app.
What date, TJ, look up what date did Modern Horizons 2 get
MH2 or MH3?
MH3 get released
June 14th.
of this year?
Yes. You don't just know that off the top of your head? Come on.
No.
I'm just a fast typer. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Jeez, oh man.
No, right, yeah, it has a billion decks, but I'm making a point.
Okay, here's July. We're into July.
Right, they do it like European.
There we go.
All right, so compare decks because it only compares that page. Okay, so Bronco, don't care about. All right, what's this? Dothy, Grief. Oh, these were Grief decks. Hold on.
So they were good with Grief, and then they lost Grief.
Oh, is this Mateo? Yeah, dude. Okay, yeah. So he's playing Grief, right? But I think you work off this shell, right? So I'll riddle you this. Instead of 4 Grief, I'm just gonna play 4 Unmask. I can't reanimate Unmask, but I can just pitch a card and Thoughtseize you.
Well, they were doing that before, but I think the card draw. So like, the thing with Frog is Frog gave you a free discard engine and it drew you cards. Like,
no, right. But I know what I'm saying is look at this deck list. This is still an Entomb, Reanimate, Daze, Ponder, Force of Will deck that plays Troll and Wastelands and reanimation targets and 4 Reanimate Deads. So what I'm saying is if like there's now some number of like Orcish Bowmasters, Thoughtseizes, something like that in this combination, I don't think this deck's dead at all.
I don't think it's dead. I just don't think it's as dominant as it has been. Whoa.
So what I'm saying is, I think personally in the format moving forward, like what I would expect to play against,
Test.
A
Better?
little bit. What you would expect to play against?
Sowing Myco Spawn, because like that didn't get touched, Eldrazi. I would expect to play against Reanimator deck, like blue-black Reanimator decks. I don't think they're going to be as good, but I think they're going to be definitely very, very strong. Like, you know, Entomb, Reanimate, Archon with Force of Will in your hand is pretty good, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think Breakfast decks got better. I think Blue Sun or Blue Zenith got better.
Blue Zenith got better, yes.
I think.
Eh.
I think.
So honestly, like I think that Prison got better just because, like overall, we're not fighting against them ourselves, and it also gives us more things to like more impact with things like Chalice, right? Like, sure, not having our Blood Moon forced like is great, but now like that's at the beginning, but now like with Chalice being back, like being able to all those 1 mana spells, like not getting rid of my. You know, we're shutting down Fatal Push. We're shutting down Swords to Plowshares. Like all of these things, like it feels better, right? And it doesn't get in the way of my grief or my we were just talking about grief in the way of my fury. So for me, like I'm not like the Vexing Bauble. It wasn't nice to be able to have a protected turn 1 Blood Moon. Absolutely, when it happened, but going into that mid range plan, like not having my stuff swords and not having my stuff, you know, being pushed off the board, like it's not really that bad. So like for us, as far as, you know, Red Moon gamers, I don't think that it affected us as much. I think we're still going to be in contention for one of the top decks for sure. So also it looks like, I was looking at some results, just kind of preparing for this. And a recent, right after the bans, we got a 5-0 list. Does this not look like a blast from the past, Tony? Like, this looks like, what, like 6 months ago? Less the Consigned to Memories. I mean, we have Darcy back, we have Delver, we have Murktide. Like, I love the ad of the Nethergoyfs, but again, Grixis getting a 5-0, you know, Delver being back in it. And again, this was literally the day after the ban, and I've been seeing a lot of Delver, more mono blue Delver, which is strange, than any mixed color Delver aggro. But I just wonder how many people that were on the Dimir tempo plan, are they going back to Delver?
Delver's always been good. It'll always be around.
Yeah. So again, I think that we're Tony. You're not saying anything.
I think
There
if
you
I
go.
was playing Entomb plus Reanimate, like that's just too good to not play, right? Like with Archon of Cruelty and Atraxa.
But those cards have always existed, and prior to Frog and stuff, they weren't doing anything.
They were playing Grief, and they were thought seizing you out of the game.
Right. And then they banned that, and then we still had Frog, which made it an issue. But now I think it's just, I think the Reanimator plan is like still a gotcha game plan where it's going to still win games, sure, but I don't think it's going to be as relevant. They dropped blue now. I don't think blue is relevant to play in that deck at all because like you're losing the card draw. It's gonna, in my personal opinion, I think Reanimator, the best version of it going forward is going to be black red, which is more of an all-in game plan. It's not as consistent, but at the same time, like it still just does its thing and forces you to have an answer. And if you don't have an answer, they just win the game, which is fine. It's totally cool.
I know what you're saying because like years ago, like there was a blue-black Reanimator which played Brainstorm and Reanimate and Entomb and Force of Will. Like there was that deck, right? And it didn't have Psychic Frog. But I don't think that just Psychic Frog getting cut from this deck, that deck didn't have Troll of Khazad-dûm. That deck didn't have Ponder. Like I think that the ability to play, because like okay, Grief and Troll of Khazad-dûm were faces. Troll of Khazad-dûm being able to play a Wasteland mana base, and then also a very strong reanimation target. It was the same thing with Grief. Grief wasn't only good because it was proactive at like thought seizing you, right? You know, because like they can expend their whole hand to Grief reanimate you, and then you just draw, play a land and swords it, right? But why Grief was really good was because it had Menace, right? It was proactive discard and Menace. So like it was a real clock in itself. And Troll is like on that same tier, right?
But 3.
Well, I think the reason that Grief, I mean, it was just having 8 unmasks in your deck. After, like, if you go get a Gristlebrand, draw 14, Grief you, unmask you, Grief you, good game. That like I've won. There's 0% chance you're getting back in this game.
Right.
Even Archon freaking sucks.
Archon, dude. Yeah.
Like, oh, every time. I'm just like, this sucks.
I do think with the meta changes, like with the bans, because I don't think Reanimator is going to be better because of the bans. I think it's actively going to be worse.
I think it stays the same.
I think it might go mono black. I've looked at a couple of those lists that are going around. That
with the Valgavoth boy, that demon boy, that card's sick.
Yeah.
That card's sick.
Well, and now you have a new tool. You have a new tool that like I think people. So okay, in my opinion, moving forward, I think decks that, like decks that wanted to play Vexing Bauble went down a little bit. Like Painter and I think. Yeah, really like Painter, Mystic Forge, obviously. Now Mystic Forge is just a fragile, like Force of Vigor works against it now.
Yeah, it's just another glass cannon mud style fast deck.
Yeah, like Vexing
which
Bauble
Daddy has Pulverize in the side again for that.
Right, which you can cast for free.
Yeah. Have you seen the pretty Pulverize?
I have seen the pretty Pulverize.
Dude.
So I think that decks like Painter kind of like, you know, didn't do well from the ban, right? I think that anything that didn't enjoy Vexing Bauble could beat it. It definitely went
Bobble.
up, obviously. But I think ultimately, Vexing Bobble just pushed out a couple of decks. But I think that you're going to see Mono Red Prison. I think you're going to see some Blue Black mid-range tempo deck towards the top of the metagame. Because like now I have all these new tools. Like I have like Tamios, and I have, like you could play the Nethergoyf version and whatever.
And I want to point out just a quick snapshot, just as far as having, this kind of snapshotted into our lore. Right now, Reanimator at 14%, Dimir Reanimator. Dimir Tempo at 11%. Eldrazi Aggro at 6%. Mono Red Prison / Stompy at 4. Actually, Jeskai or some blue-white X controls at 5, and then Stompy. So that's our top 5 decks in the meta. So if we look at it, I mean, sure, there's going to be some type of Dimir or Grixis aggro. I think that moves to the top of our aggro list. I think Stifle Knot. I've been watching a lot about some of the Stifle Knot stuff, and yeah, it's wild. And I've been playing against quite a bit. I've been on 2 leagues so far this week, and I have hit Stifle Knot at least once, if not twice, in each league. So I'm seeing more and more of that. What's that?
I said, fuck Stifle Knot.
Dude, it looks fun. They're doing that one. What's the name of it? This one doesn't have it. The Curie card.
I'm just being a turd because they play
Have you seen this card?
Stifle. Yeah.
Curry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before, you just bring it in for 1 and then respond to the trigger, it becomes a 12/12 and you draw 12 cards.
Right.
That's just wild.
I'm just saying fuck Stifle Knot because it's a control deck that plays 4/4, 3 days, and fucking 4 Stifle when I'm trying to play Storm. Those bitches.
It has 4 swords that don't do anything to you. You got that going for you, which is nice.
Perfect.
And the Oculus rounding it out as well. So I think this is. I think we're going to see some, because there's some creators that are talking about it quite a bit. So I think that we're going to see that kind of move over a little bit. Personally, overall, show and tell still there, 6%. So again, like you said,
Switch it to 5 days. See if that changes.
about the same. Nadu being 8%.
Oh yeah.
Whatever they're calling Nadu. Whoa. That's nice. I like that.
Yeah,
This is like my list, man. This is hot.
That's Zenith, right?
Yeah.
Is that, yeah. Mm-hmm. One oof.
Just
moon.
mind-boggling, dude.
Dude, Natural Order is such a cool card.
Dude, I'm gonna play this deck.
Phenomenal art too.
Tony, how are you not playing this? This looks seriously right up your alley. Especially with the Spring Hearts.
Oh no, dude. Yeah, well, because Gaia's Cradle.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah, I don't have Gaia's Cradles, and I don't want to buy Gaia's Cradles.
How much are guys' cradles?
Like 5, 6.
6.
Yeah, don't be a bitch, dude. Fire them off.
You don't need actual cards until next Eternal Weekend.
Yeah.
Doesn't cost anything on Moto. You're already paying $60 a month.
Dude, you know how much they cost on NPC fill? 20 cents.
And I have plenty of them.
Dude, on a scale from 1 to can't be a bitch your whole life, you can't, dude. And I think you should try this deck.
I do appreciate that. I do love that.
And you have most of these cards already.
Yeah.
Right.
All you have to do is buy 4 cradles. You're fine.
You're so close.
Dude, I mean,
Do you
I'm
have 3
wondering,
chops?
like, no.
I have 2. You can borrow mine.
There you go. Look at that.
Wait, where's land? Where's land?
Or this is what you do. When the wifey gets home, say, "Hey, babe, you remember that thing I did that you liked a lot? Well, because of that, I've decided to spend a couple extra dollars on Magic cards this month, and you're going to have to fucking deal with that." And
because that's how
What
marriage works.
Yeah, and what I mean by that is your
Marriage
Christmas presents.
Ben.
Yeah, your Christmas presents are gonna have to be on the back burner because Papa needs lands, baby. I need 4 guys cradles, and that's okay. And then say it like that. See how it goes.
I don't know if I like that.
No, she was cool. She'll get it. Your wife's cool. Both your wives are very cool. They would understand.
This is a wild list, only running 2 swords, by the way. Okay, I don't want to get off on a tangent. So, going into, or this
That's
next
all this is. That's all we do is tangent.
So, keeping us on track, does this ban announcement change anything that you are doing?
Yes.
Ben, I know that you were just playing Vexing Baubles. You guys recently switched a couple weeks after Modern Horizons.
Yeah.
So your plan's obviously going to change, but you're still going to play Storm.
Yeah, I'm a scumbag for Storm. I love Storm. I was trying Ant there for a little bit. Ant is a lot harder to play, and I think it's just because I don't have the reps. In my personal opinion, it's a critical mass deck. So like the amount of games that I was getting, like I was probably playing like 3 leagues a day.
Dang.
Yeah, I was probably playing like 3 leagues a day, and it's a critical mass deck. So like the thing that I kept running into was like it mulligans poorly. The deck does not mulligan well. And the more you mulligan, the more you're slow gaming, which you're not trying to win fast. It's not like chess where you're trying to win on turn 1, 2, or 3 pretty consistently. You're trying to sculpt the perfect hand so you can critical mass and win through their hate pieces. So like, yeah, sure, you do play the Thoughtseizes and Duresses main, but like at the same time, sometimes you just don't draw them. Sometimes you draw the dark rituals that you need to get the critical mass that you have, and then you had a Thoughtseize like 3 turns ago, and you're like, okay, what are the odds that he drew? Like, what did he draw? He didn't play a creature, so odds are higher that he has the answer, but do I force here, or do I slowly wait until I hit a Thoughtseize? I mean, you're playing cantrips like fucking crazy. You're at 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 cantrips in the main. So, like, sometimes actually every time it's probably just better to wait unless they've only drawn 1 card and their previous hand had 0 blue spells in it. So you're like, okay, so they don't have a force and a blue spell. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just harder because you are a critical mass deck. You need so many cards to do it. And early on, I kept fucking up because I don't read cards, and I've been playing Gaia's Will so long that I keep forgetting that Gaia's Will and Past in Flames are very, very different. So like, I'd be like, oh dude, I just have lethal, and then I'd fucking rip a Past in Flames and be like, oh wait, I can't play my artifacts. That's not how that works. Yeah, Yawgmoth's Will is better than Past in Flames apparently. But it's a lot harder, so I've been playing Tess. Actually, the day they announced, yesterday, what is today? Today's Tuesday. Yeah, they made the bans yesterday. Mm-hmm. So yesterday, mid-afternoon, the Epic Storm Patreon uploaded a new list post-ban. And I'm not going to blast Bryant's information, but I will say that we're playing actually the last time we recorded, I was talking about how I think Galvanic Relay needs to come back.
Yeah,
like the card is just a very good mid-range deck killer, and it going away kind of hurt and felt wrong. Well, we're on Galvanic Relay again, so I'll give you guys that without giving out too much information. But with Vexing Bauble going away, we are doing some sideboard stuff that's free. So like, and I did reveal the Pulverize earlier, but we're doing some sideboard stuff that's costs 0 mana to help deal with like decks that are annoying again. So we're on Pulverize. Another one that I'll tell you guys after, but I don't want to reveal all the spice for the rest of the world. Bryant works his ass off, and everybody else on that channel works their ass off to, make that list, and rightfully so. They ask for a couple of bucks for the list. Sure. So 100%. I think if you guys want that information, it is up there. It is good information to have. And the Discord is very beneficial too if you wanted to learn more about Storm or get better at playing Storm. But yeah, I'm going to be storming. I'm kind of excited about this list. I know you've heard me talk about playing Pulverize. It's one of my favorite cards ever made.
Yep.
Mainly because I hate mud. I hate when they have two fucking stack pieces. Like they have a Trinisphere and two chalices in play, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll just eat shit. And then I go, I'll get a Pulverize. They go, what does that card do again? I'm like, bitch, buckle them seatbelts.
Here we go. Here we go.
But we're doing a couple other free spells too, based on how we think the meta is going to shift. Well, how they think the meta is going to shift. I just do what they tell me.
That's not a bad way, not a bad place to be. So I am on this is my post Vexing Bauble list. It's been good to me so far in the league. I am undefeated. I still have 2 more games to go though. So we're kind of our standard run-of-the-mill. Biggest difference is back to 4 Chalice of the Voids, and then I'm splitting my ring, 2 of the Trinisphere, again, to slow them down just a hair. I love it. I had a Chalice out, and Chalice was on 1, and I also had Trinisphere out, and they paid 3 to do a brainstorm, and then it was countered.
And they're like, oh, fuck, the CMC isn't 3.
Nope, it's not. And then it was an instant concede. So, again, the deck's feeling pretty good. I still think I want to get a little bit lower to the ground. It's just not having Vexing Bauble there. That's why I went down on rings, because countering a 4-mana spell feels really, really bad without Vexing Bauble there. So again, I'm looking for a little bit lower to the ground. My boy Goyf hopefully will stay around. But this next version, I'm probably going to go down some Goyfs and just get even a little bit lower to the ground and just do a little bit more of an aggro strategy. Goyf's good. It does lots of damage. When it copies, it does even more damage. Like, I have nothing but great things to say about it. But in the meta that we're going into, I feel like the other threats that are out there, I feel like I need to add more pressure. So yeah, that's where we're at as far as our prison list. Kind of a regular sideboard, 4 blasts of some sort, 2 null rods to respect the combo that's out there. The what's the word that I'm looking for? The monolith, all the tappy untappy. So being able to stop that. Confluence, obvious, to blow stuff up. Macabre to rip stuff out of the graveyard, and then the Dead Gaunt's to obviously return stuff back to hand or just do a little damage here and there. So again, the deck feels good. Kind of post ban. So far in this league, I haven't really missed the Vexing Bauble.
It's missed you.
The Sundering Eruption, I think, is going to be fun too, with the greedy mana bases, especially if Delver does come back. They're designed to get to 3 lands, and that's pretty much it. So if I can blow that shit up, then I will.
And you have to play Sundering Eruption so that you can sing it to the tune of Sexual Eruption.
I am not familiar, so do tell. I was thinking Sexual Healing. Sexual Healing.
You don't listen to the Snoop Dio double?
I am not at Gin and Juice for sure. That's as far back as my Snoop Dio double G goes back.
Well, I won't play it on the stream, but it's Sexual Eruption. I think they changed it. I think when it was edited. Yeah, when they edited it for radio, I think they took out eruption because it was talking about ejaculate. But I don't know for sure. I think they edited it to like sexual seduction or something like that, which is fucking lame. We like the ejac.
So I will give everybody homework, because I am a teacher, so we all need homework. It is to listen to that song over and over again and prepare for the next episode. I for sure will be singing that tune when I play that card, per Sugar Lips Ben's request. So
you're gonna love it. You're gonna appreciate. You'll be like,
Sundering Eruption.
Sundering Eruption. Oh, in a Snoop Dio double G fucking silky smooth. God damn.
Yeah, I'll just like
Dude.
sit back and just bring the glasses down.
Dude, and then when you win, Crip walk away from the table like it's nothing. Oh, speaking of, okay, this is super, super off topic, but on topic of Snoop Dogg. I don't know if anybody plays
We just got
Fortnite.
back on topic of Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
He's like, where did
So-
this episode go? I was gone for like 2 minutes.
I don't know if either of you guys play Fortnite. I played for a little bit, just fucking about. But they've started incorporating events, and this recent event was like Snoop Dogg. I don't remember Eminem, but like throughout this season, you could unlock a Snoop Dogg skin, you could unlock an Eminem skin, whatever. But at the end of the season, there was like a virtual concert where they did a Snoop Dogg song, an Eminem song. I'm like, this is gangster. Like, that's all it was. If you logged in and opened up the game, you were just at this virtual concert. But the whole reason I bring this up is because dude, it was cool as fuck. I'm like, this is cool. Like, video games don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, you play the game, you go to bed. But they were like, oh, the season's ending, so we're going to hold this, like, concert and it was cool as fuck. I'm like, all right, this is the coolest thing that I've seen video games do in, like, the last, like, my entire life. I'm like, this is very cool. But the reason I bring this up is because they incorporated the Crip Walk as a dance move in the game.
yes.
So, like, you can teach one of the emotes that you can do is you can have your character Crip Walk. I'm like, all right, I fuck with this. I fuck with this. I think they called it a Snoop Walk or something like that because they can't be putting Crip Walk in a fucking video game.
All right. So, Tony,
kids.
we have delayed as much as we can till you came back. We even got into Snoop Dogg. So,
I went off on a tangent.
what is your life look like post ban? What are you going to be on? Does it change anything that you are doing? You're like, yeah, I'm going to modern.
Yeah, I mean, modern looks super fun for like the first time in a long time.
dude.
No, I'll definitely. Okay, so I think like the problem with any like Dark Depths like strategy right now is the fact that like Kozilek's command's running around, and like Sowing Myco spawn still exists in the format in Eldrazi. Blood Moon is still at the top of the metagame. So I just think like any Dark Depths strategy isn't like top notch right now. I think it's just outside of like tier 1. You know what I mean? But if you're not playing like a tier 1 deck at this point, I just think that, you know, you're already disadvantageous.
Ooh.
Easy syllable.
So, I don't know. I think I'm going to be like somewhere in like the Nadu world, to be perfectly honest with you, because I think Nadu is a fucked up Magic card. And I don't think that they even mentioned it in the announcement.
Yeah, they did. They said they're keeping an eye on it.
Yeah, so I mean, if that tells you anything, like, you know, they're not keeping an eye on Ponder. You know what I mean?
Easy.
They're,
Dude.
no, I'm saying.
Well, they can't say that live in living color because then they'll put out on paper that they're looking at fish titties.
Right. Well. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna be on some sort of Nadu deck until proven otherwise, because like I don't think even with the return of Orcish Bowmasters, like the Nadu cares. You know what I mean? So like I could play Teferi. I can play, Delighted Halflings don't die to Bowmasters. Nomads is literally the thing that dies to Bowmasters that's concerning.
I am going to be keeping an eye on Modern, though, because I know that at the beginning of asking Tony Penis what he was doing for Legacy, you made the joke of, like, playing Modern. I am very excited about the Modern unbans. I think the power level in Modern just went up by a lot. I don't know what that looks like, but...
For me, I feel like it's something that if I want to do that tournament grind and like go to all the cool things, it's just awesome that has a higher power level, I guess, because you're not going to see legacy, RCQs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So For me, I think
Aside from Titan, what do you think Zenith is going to be played in? Do you think Zenith could be played in like a toolbox?
Yawgmoth, Grist.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Interest.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking good.
Any deck that tried to play in Court of Calling before. I mean,
I didn't
Court of
even think
Calling
about
is still
Yawg.
good, but like Zenith, you could play Dryad Arbor. You know what I mean? You could play Dryad Arbor and 4 recurable tutors in your green elf dork deck now. Yawgmoth.
Sounds pretty
I mean-
fun.
Cord will probably still be played because of Wall. Right?
Well,
Like,
okay, so but I don't think Yogg plays Green Sun. Doesn't Green Sun only get a green creature?
Yeah.
So like it doesn't hit the combo pieces.
That doesn't matter. It sure. I mean, it hits Strangleroot Geist.
Yeah,
It
it's
hits
cute.
Young Wolf.
It's cute. I mean, because like if I
It
were to
hits
do
Dryad
Green Sun
Arbor.
Zenith, like I was thinking like a pod style deck where it's like you're tutoring for lock pieces, like almost like hate
mean,
bears, like
I mean, yes. In any so like in
aside from
any-
Titan, because
any
like
green
Titan is
deck.
obvious.
Yeah, but any green deck, like you want, like your keen-eyed curator, you want your collector oof, you want your like one target, but like main deck, you're mostly just like I'm tutoring whatever I really need at this moment, but like mostly Grist.
I think Green Sun is going to end up being a combo. It's going to be a combo enabler, but I think it's for sure going to be in Titan. And I think I could see it in like some kind of birthing pod style, like hate bears, like deck. You know what I mean? Like tutor for the thing that stops them from winning until you can just combo win.
I mean, obviously, Birthing Pod was a deck in Modern for a while.
There's a reason.
And really, it just got like pushed over the edge because of like.
I thought we'd get
Rhinos and
Birthing
Kitchen
Pod back
Finks.
before we got fucking Splinter Twin back.
Yeah.
Like why can't a player get Birthing Pod?
I mean, I think for similar reasons, but like Splinter Twin's just too slow, right?
I don't agree with that. I think Splinter Twin is actually good. Like you just do the same thing that it always did. End of your turn, I'm going to tap down your land. I'm going to flash in this fucking 1/4 that can't be bolted.
But that's
And
when
then-
Cryptic Command was good. Force of Negation exists in Modern. Force of Solitude.
So why
It
wouldn't you
exists
just
in Modern?
Yeah, but like because
Yeah.
of that, you just play a different deck. You just play like
Force of Vigor exists
you
in
just,
Modern.
you just go all in combo. You play Pact and Negations. We have the fucking
Okay. But in a modern world where you can play Force of this and Force of that and Force of that thing too. And
I'm
then,
a modern girl in a
Yeah.
modern world.
And then you can
casting spells, winning
also play-
games.
Yeah. That is the
And we
songbird
have
of the generation.
We have
Dude,
a new intro.
I know you guys are looking at it right now, and yeah, my hair is that soft. Like it's crazy today. It's so
You're
soft.
such a modern girl.
You're a modern girl. Living in a legacy world.
Right,
That's what it is.
right.
We might be onto something here. I'm gonna have ChatGPT make some lyrics for us. I will have that done. All right, so I do have to jet. Are there any last minute thoughts for the good of the order? Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Like, are we feeling good about these bands or do we feel bad about these bands overall?
Okay, so I'll give a thumbs up, but I do think they need to hit more for it to be balanced. I think for Legacy to be a good Legacy again, we need to hit more, but I think this is an okay start.
Sure. Tony?
Yeah, well said. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's a start, but so it'll be interesting to see where the format goes. Be prepared to play against Ancient Tomb and, some sort of.
Brought to you in part by Absolute.
But it wasn't. Actually, it wasn't at all.
It wasn't, yeah. I don't know if we can get in trouble for saying that, but they
Probably.
just got free sponsorship. So
Yeah.
they're welcome.
All right, guys. Well, I have to head off to another meeting. Thank you so much for joining us today. We'd love to hear about your thoughts on the ban and restricted, even though it's just a ban announcement. Are
Unless
you
you're
going
done.
to be playing Modern? Are you going to continue with Legacy? Is there something that you feel like should have been added? Let us know on our Discord or on the comments on this episode on YouTube. Again, our website is just do a Google search for Ohio Eternal, or you could just go to eternal.rocks and you will find all of our social medias there. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Miss you already.
Send nudes.
Will we get in trouble for me saying brought to you in part by Absolute?
Nope.
Hell yeah. I was about to say if so.